Hey friend, welcome back to the show. I'm Phillip. I hope your week has been at least somewhat steady. Maybe not everything went the way you hope, but I hope you still found a few small pockets of strength, a warm cup of coffee, a good conversation, a quiet walk, or the little voice inside saying, I'm tired, but I can take one more step. Today, I want to continue our conversation about failure, but from a different angle, not just our own mistakes, but how we react when we see other people's success, especially the polished version we see in media and social networks. Why do we feel pressure or comparison when we see achievement, and how can we respond in a healthier way? Most success stories we hear are compressed into simple narratives. Headline and interview show rapid growth, life-changing breakthrough, and financial freedom stories. Over time, we get used to seeing the hero of success, while the long season of doubt, fatigue, and mistake remain invisible. The truth is real success usually looks more like this. Work hard, then fail, then adjust, then try again, then get stuck, then question everything, then recover, then stumble again, then slowly improve, then eventually reach a meaningful result. But because that story is complex and messy, it often gets simplified into work hard, don't give up, succeed. Our culture also loves hero narratives, people who reverse the odds and prove everyone wrong, but we rarely hear about strained relationships, emotional costs, health struggles, or the role of timing and luck. Even successful people themselves often share only the victory version, not because they are dishonest, but because some chapters were painful, private, or shaped by circumstances they couldn't fully control. Media and platforms also tend to edit reality. Inspirational moment sells better than complicated truths. So we see the speech, the awkward, the highlight, not the line someone said alone thinking, what if this all collapsed? Over time, this creates psychological pressure. Psychologists note 3 common reactions. First, we feel like we are uniquely failing. We see our own doubt, procrastination, and emotional messiness, but we only see others' polished outcomes. We end up comparing our unedited reality to someone else's highlight reel and conclude, why do they seem capable while I struggle so much? But the comparison itself is unfair. Second, we develop unnecessary guilt and anxiety. We assume everything comes down to willpower, but lives are shaped by background, opportunity, health, economic stability, timing, support system, and the cost of failure. Some people can afford to take risks. Others carry responsibilities where failure is far more expensive. Those differences rarely appear in success stories. Third, we form unrealistic fantasy about success. We start believing effort always guarantees result, or that success will make everything worth it. But in real life, some effort doesn't produce what we hope for. Some success comes with heavy sacrifice. Some people look powerful yet feel deeply anxious inside. If we never see the cost, we may chase a life that doesn't match our values. So, how do we develop a healthier mindset? First, see success as a moment in time, not a verdict on worth. It is the result of many interacting conditions: effort, context, support, resources, and circumstance. Failure simply means a method didn't work in that situation. Neither outcome defines identity. Second, recognize unseen costs. Most achievements include pressure, sacrifice, emotional weight, responsibility, and multiple failure. That doesn't make success negative. It simply reminds us that no achievement is free. When we admire someone's success, it's wise to ask, if that cost were placed on my life, would this still be the path I want? Third, learn to appreciate others without diminishing ourselves. We can admire someone's resilience while also acknowledging that our paths may look different. The better question becomes, given my value, limits, and responsibility, what does meaningful growth look like for me? Fourth, replace single moment success story with whole life story. Everyone carries both light and shadow, accomplishment and regret, joy and pain. When we understand that, we become kinder toward others and toward ourselves. In Right Kind of Wrong, Amy Emerson shares examples of culture that treat mistakes as learning opportunities rather than shame. Aviation investigates incidents to understand where systems make error likely. Pixar's Brain Trust embraces imperfect draft and iterative feedback. Toyota empowers workers to stop production when they see a risk. Mistakes are treated as early signals, not personal failure. This environment didn't form accidentally, they were intentionally designed. And the same is true in our personal life. If we don't consciously shape how we respond to failure, instinct leads us toward hiding, blaming, or self-attack rather than reflection and growth. So, we can start with small shift. Practice curiosity after failure. Ask, what actually happened? Was this preventable, complex, or exploratory? Speak honestly to yourself, but without cruelty. What did I learn? What might I try differently next time? Build small rhythm of reflection instead of silent self-judgment. In families, the tone we use around mistake shape identity. Homes that allow imperfection also allow growth. In workplaces, cultures of blame create fear, but when mistakes are treated as signal, teams become wiser and more collaborative. Let me end with this thought. Success is just a moment. Failure is just a season. Life is the journey in between. If you are in a hard chapter right now, you are not behind, you are not broken, and you are not alone. Your story is still unfolding, and even the hard part may one day become the places where deeper compassion and strength are formed. If this episode helped you, feel free to share it with someone who is trying their best but still feel weighed down by comparison or failure. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. I'm Phillip, and I will talk to you again next time.